Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're posting a video. Unlike last week where I didn't post anything, and it actually really bothered me. You see, I don't like going days, let alone weeks, without having content here on this channel, but over this last month I've actually taken on 2 and kind of 3 brand new jobs to prepare for the future, to pay off debt, and to allow us to continue making content here. I'm actually doing painting work, which is the house that I'm walking through at the moment. I have one room that's finished and in my opinion quite lovely. I didn't do the ceiling, just the walls, and I have a lot of other rooms that I am still working on. You see, last week I put like 48 hours into prepping the walls, pulling down nails and shelves, fixing giant cracks through the plaster, and eventually getting to the point where we're actually painting and rolling and getting everything a beautiful, bright white. But I didn't post any content. And it wasn't because we didn't have any content ready to post. I mean, in fact, I have 20 plus videos sitting ready to go live, but all of them are obsessive, ambitious. They're content that have 6 or 7 camera angles. They require hours of editing to get done. And to be honest, they're just a little much. And I'm excited to make them. I'm excited to post them. I'm excited to get that content up to you, but that's not going to be able to be our daily content. This massive crack back here, it took about 4 hours to fix. So I started thinking back through when the channel started. I started asking the question, like, what did I do back in the day when Quackalope was becoming a thing, right? When it was getting closer and closer to what it is now. And I realized, this is a terrible camera angle, and I think the mic's probably gonna be picking up things weird, so we're gonna change this. When I first started Quackalope, I did things like vlogging from my car on the way up to Cleveland to visit some other content creators, right? We had a pullover, we had to stop, and what did I do? I turned on the camera and I talked to you all about Kickstarter and about making content and about board games. And so I thought, over this next season, as I'm doing interior painting and, well, learning the skill the best I can, while I'm doing photography, whether it's weddings or families or events that require me to travel across the country, or when I'm doing my now full-time job, which is doing some home inspections for a real estate company here in the Cleveland area, I figured I'd have to continue making content one way or another. And this is that way. Right? Like, we have to continue filming and talking and sharing and showcasing life, because that's all board games really are. Board games are our game groups and our local board game store where we fell in love with a hobby. Board games are the things that we wish we could do with friends and family or on our own, not because the games themselves are so magical, but instead because the act of hanging out and playing is the thing that makes it all worthwhile. So I started thinking, what is a piece of content I could do to show you all a little bit behind the scenes, to talk with you all as I continue this journey, and that I had the mental capacity for at 3 a.m. in the morning. And my answer was the 5 games that I'm daydreaming about playing while I'm here working, while I'm painting, while I'm dealing with massive cracks that I didn't anticipate. I figured I'd make a quick little video. I'd tell you all about what it is that's been on my mind and what I wish I was actually doing, not instead, because I'm actually enjoying this quite a lot, but alongside or eventually with this. I don't think this bucket that I got is going to be able to balance the camera. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find a nice aesthetic location that doesn't, have trouble focusing on my face. If I took one of these studio lights here and I flipped it around, beamed it off the back wall, and then came back, I bet the camera would have a little bit of an easier time finding me. All right, let's try this. I found a good spot now to sit and talk with you. Let's talk about the 5 games that I'm daydreaming about playing, the games that I wish I could actually get to the table. Hopefully the camera will keep up with us. This is our little vlog camera that we usually have at conventions. I hope you all are enjoying Origins at the moment. Okay. Number 1, I'm daydreaming about playing a little Euro game called Caverna, right? The follow-up to Agricola. While my wife and I, Shira, were on a holiday about a week and a half ago, we visited a friend up in New Jersey, and we played multiple games, but we played multiple games of the same game multiple times. So we played Scythe a few times. We played Everdell only once. Shira and he were not big fans of it, but we played Caverna time and time again, and I loved it. I was reminded just how much I loved it. Beautiful worker placement, tiles and worker placement zones that develop and upgrade as the game goes on, that reveal themselves, variable different pathways to victory, which is something that I didn't actually like with Agricola. Agricola made it so you had to balance everything perfectly, and Caverna was that sweet, perfect, balanced game system that I personally was really looking for. So I'm excited about playing that again. In fact, I learned the expansion that has the goblins moving down into the valley. We don't have the first expansion, that was the second one, and I'm hopefully going to be ordering and getting a chance to play the 2-player version, cave versus cave system, here soon, which I'm equally as excited about. I just love everything the game's doing. I love the aesthetic, I like the thematic kind of overtones, the central theme of it, and I love the variable worker placement and the variable pathways towards victory, so everyone's kind of doing their own puzzle every single time they play the game. No game felt the same, while the mechanics of every game were the same. The second game that I'm daydreaming about playing is a little game called Jaws of the Lion. Now, not because I want to dive back into Gloomhaven, which I do, but because I spent so much time playing Crimson Scales. We have 10 episodes of that filmed that just need to be edited. Some of those videos that I was saying, like, are prepared. They're just not prepared to share. And in light of that, in light of learning Gloomhaven again to play Crimson Scales, Shira and I have started back on the campaign of Jaws of the Lion, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. I just love going on this adventure. I love small, bite-sized style legacy games, and the mechanic system, the engine behind Gloomhaven, any Gloomhaven product, is just probably one of the more solid card-driven engines I've ever played. Every game, every scenario feels like you're in that crunch, and yeah, I just can't get enough of it. We actually still have it set up in our kitchen. We're about halfway through the campaign now, but we haven't had as much time. Sorry, my ribs were starting to hurt. We haven't had as much time to sit and play with each other as I've been hoping. The next game that is on my list that I've been daydreaming about playing is going to be a game that I picked up for Shabbat, which is our weekly Sabbath. It's our weekly break. We actually just got off of Shabbat a few hours ago. I popped over here for about 3 hours of painting, and now I'm filming this video. It's about 3 a.m. now, and then I'm going to go home, edit some photography, go to sleep for a little bit, and get this up and live, hopefully in the morning, if the audio's good enough to at least listen to. We've got our little mic there that we're playing with. Second game is the game that I picked up that we started reviewing for the next trip that we have up to our friends, where we played Caverna so many times, but we didn't get a chance to play it yet. It's a game that Shira's been asking to play for a long time. It's a game that just had some expansions come out that I just placed an order for, so the Zoo Park expansion and the Ocean World expansion, or whatever it is. We're talking Ark Nova. I've been conflicted about Ark Nova a lot. It has never been the perfect game for me. I love the victory point conditions where you're trying to cross the eco-friendly and the profitability. I love the card system. I mean, I really love that system where you're playing from your hand and you're trying to decide what's going to be coming back to you to do more powerful actions versus what you need now or immediately. But the game has always felt a little too squeezed, a little too tight for us, and so it's never been one that we've readily grabbed and kind of gotten off the table or off the shelf onto the table. But we've owned a copy of it for a while, and our friend is very interested in playing it. And so, despite me not loving it so far, I am thinking a lot about how I might fall in love with it and how my opinions might change when I get 10 or 15 plays deep, like we have the habit of trying to do now at the moment. So, Ark Nova is there high on the list. The next one is going to be Scythe. Scythe is one of those games that we played, I think, 4 games of over this last trip. It was amazing. It was fantastic. Scythe is just such a lovely game. And on top of that, Shira, myself, and at least one other person have committed to a Rise of Fenris mini-campaign. Now, I've played through Rise of Fenris before. I enjoyed the heck out of it then. I am really excited to dive back into it now. So I think that's 4, right? We're talking Scythe, we're talking Caverna, we're talking Jaws of the Lion, we're talking Ark Nova. The 5th game that I've been daydreaming about while I've been here for, I think I put about 40 hours of work in about 3 days last week. We're talking 12 to 14-hour days. The other game that I've been daydreaming about actually getting off the shelf and onto the table, it's gonna have to be, I'm conflicted because I'm trying to think of some solo games, and Final Girl's high on that list, Marvel Champions is high on that list, but I don't know that any of those are games that I've actually been like ruminating on. But I did just place an order for the solo system, the solo engine, the 2nd version of it for Root. And I have a friend coming back. Dennis is going to be coming back very soon, our local firefighter. And when he comes back, we're going to be playing all the Root. We're going to be doing head-to-head 2-player for as many engines as we can. We're going to try to get 5 or 6 people down to hang out with us and play a big, massive 6-player game in our studio. And I have another idea about running and working with the solo bots, the solo engines. So it's been on my mind a lot. I think that's going to have to be my answer. I'm excited to play Root solo. I know, it's not really how the game's supposed to be played, and I'm looking forward to playing it multiplayer a few weeks down the road, but honestly, I've never had the chance to get this 2nd edition of bots up and running on the table. I featured the version of them, the mechanical, I forget the name for it, back when it was just a fan-made BGG expansion, when Leader Games hadn't put out a good solo version of the engine yet, and it was great. It was awesome. And so I'm excited about messing around and playing around with that. I'd love to hear from you all. What's on your mind as you're working, as you're figuring out just kind of the day-to-day and the puzzle of this little thing we call life, as you're trying to do the dance of making ends meet? And as you're watching these YouTube videos, what board games are you daydreaming about? What projects are you looking forward to, whether they're solo games or games that you have featured at game night? I mean, are you that once-a-year Twilight Imperium player? Are you the Marvel Champions lover like me? Are you waiting to dive back into Oathsworn with your local gaming group? I'd love to hear. I'd love to know. Because that really determines the games that we love, right? The games that we love aren't the games that we play one time. They're the games that you think about constantly, unyieldingly. The games that you wish you could get to the table when everything else in life is saying that you need to take a little bit of time, patch a wall, do a test paint spot to see how many layers it's going to take to coat this in white, and get ready to prime before putting on your actual top layer of paint. The games that you love are the games that you think about in spite of all that. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this community and allowing me to be a part of yours. I'm going to go home. I'm going to get some more work done, and hopefully I'm going to have this video and many more to upload over the course of this next week. I don't like not posting. Okay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. We'll see you next time. Bye.